Hello everybody, today I'll show y'all 5 different tips to make you more comfortable and way faster on Supercross and MX bikes. The first 3 tips are more of the intermediate level tips, and then the 4th one will be more for the average beginner, MX bikes player that is trying to get into Supercross. But the 5th will be for more of that advanced or expert level players. Should be kind of fun. Let's get right into it. One more thing. I'll refer my setup video in case you guys are looking for Supercross setups. I have a video out and it has Supercross setups for all the bikes along with Motocross if you guys are just looking for bike setups in general. And one thing to help you guys out, I went ahead and made my controller overlay massive. And the first thing that we'll get into here is something I know a lot of people ask me about, is the whoops. Now there's a few things you should kind of have like bullet points on before you get into it. First thing you need to be doing is you always want to stand. I found standing's probably just the best way through it, no other way around it. Another one is definitely don't pin it. Stay gentle, especially on your entrance to the whoops. Then the real advice is experiment with leaning back and forth. If you're leaning back and then forward, you can kind of balance it out. Stay around 4th gear, and once again, do not pin it. You just gotta feel it out, like you can kind of get into dips every here and there. You may not get it immediately, but if you make sure to just stay 4th gear, you're lightly on the throttle, and you're experimenting with your leaning forward and backward, you can probably find a good balance, and that's what I do. So coming into here, right, you're gonna go 4th gear, you're gonna stay a little bit, lower, and then just to start off, this is how I kind of started off, is just leaning back and forth. Once again, you head in here with 4th gear, you go in, you want to make sure to kind of just like lean, kind of see where I'm leaning with my left joystick there, and then eventually you'll be good enough to just start doing it on your own time. But you can kind of feel out the whoops this way, and then the more and more you get into it, the further you can go. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and then you can kind of just feel your way through a whoop section. You kind of want to just learn how to do that sort of thing, and then try to adapt, get a little bit faster. And another valuable little bit of advice here is all the time, you don't even have to be leaning. You can honestly like just leave it up and don't even touch your lean button, and sometimes it'll kind of balance you out. Say you come in 4th gear and you're kind of just trying to truck it through here, and you can kind of just like let off the lean there for a second. And the next thing I'll be showing you guys today is kind of my way of seat bouncing. There's obviously the very traditional seat bounce, but there's also what I do. I basically just lean forward after I've been leaning back. I'd explain it like I lean back when I'm landing or coming down / out of a berm. Then I lean forward all the way up the face of a jump, carrying my speed from my landing / the exit of my turn and using it to sling myself forward, and it keeps you even a little bit lower. Come out of here, go 3rd gear. You want to make sure to get up and over this nicely, and then you just kind of lean forward after you lean back going down that. Get up over this, go down the landing, all leaned back, and then you want to just shoot forward. So this is like nearly an impossible line, but I'll show you guys. So basically you want to come down here, and then through the exit of the corner, I'm leaning all the way back, and then I just sling forward up the face of the jump. This next corner works perfectly for it if you're going to triple in here, where you can kind of just do that. One thing a lot of people don't know is leaning forward can help you in all different sorts of situations. Leaning forward can basically stabilize your bike and kind of even lean it backwards, if that makes sense. It's really complex to explain, but I'll show you guys real quick what I mean. So you can come up to this corner here, and then you get that steep bounce there, or that tire tap, and you realize how I'm stood up, and then I'm actually leaning forward to stiffen and stabilize my back wheel to make sure that it goes down, and leaning forward puts my back wheel closer to the ground. This helps for over jumping and wheel taps, like I've already explained. You could say, Ian, how does this help for over jumps as well? Well, if you've over jumped something, you can put your back wheel down, and what it does is it moves the back wheel closer to the ground to rebound. I'll try to explain this the best I can. It's going to be very tough though. But you see, leaning forward already moves my body weight forward, putting more up here, but this is going to drop my back end actually. So in this situation, see how close my back wheel is to hitting the ground. You can keep going forward, and say if I was a little bit up here, the back wheel would be treading here, instead of if I weren't leaning forward, my back wheel would already be like way past this point. So instead of just over jumping like this, right, you can kind of over jump and control it. See, I've over jumped a little bit, but I can drop that back wheel down and give myself the best opportunity to give myself the most drive I can get. I can try to summarize it up in a little bit better words here. If you've over jumped something, you can lean forward, and that propels your back wheel down closer to the ground sooner, which gives you more drive, especially if you can still catch the intended landing downside. And the wheel taps is just too confusing to explain, so here's some examples if you guys want to figure it out by yourselves. Sorry, not sorry. And this wasn't going to be a wheel tap, but we'll see if I can do it here in full time. I can. So like that, I'll show you guys real quick. So I'd come into this, right, and then I start leaning forward about here, and that's gonna put my back wheel on the ground, or I guess closer. So see how the angle is? It's because I'm leaning forward. And then you guys can see this real quick here. in full, where my back wheel digs into the ground, and since I'm leaning forward, there's that stability up here, and you'll see my chest kind of move forward, right? Maybe I don't know, right there. And you see how that kind of works, kind of lowers my back wheel onto the ground, and then you can kind of propel out of it. It's not a wheel tap, but it's a good example. And now on to my beginner tip. For my beginners out there that are looking to learn a little bit, what I used to do every single time I got on a new track when I was new to Supercross, I literally just doubled around everything. It didn't matter if it was like, I think I can triple this. I never tried. I just basically doubled everything. Doesn't matter if it ruins your drive for like a corner like this. I just roll, come up, put myself at a better angle. Make sure you slow down. Make sure you go overboard or anything like that. And you just want to basically hit your marks. You want to make sure you're getting the corners in the right place to propel you the fastest. Shift down, you know, like I said, make sure to hit your marks. That's a big part of it as well. And learning Supercross is learning the angles to set yourself up for the future, you know, sections upcoming. But the biggest part is don't be like all reckless and stuff. Just kind of come in here and just double. And then after a few laps of doubling, you can try to triple a few things that you think you can. And then just get bigger lines from there on. And like I said, just kind of make sure you're hitting your marks and lining up your angles right and everything like that. Now, for all my experts out there that are just looking to take that extra second off your lap time or something like that to compete with your friends' lap times, whatever it may be, the best thing you guys can do as an experienced player is try to stay lower. Coming here full steam ahead, scrub onto the table, go down, and make sure you just basically scrub. Maybe you can scrub that a little bit more, but scrub, and then just kind of try to stay a little bit lower. And you could scrub this if you get a good enough run. Right now it's very very jaggy what I'm doing here. It's not that that accurate.
A few moments later.
If you wanted to come up here, you know, head to one side to scrub to the other, I recommend the other side, but basically you can always stay lower. And I like the double here. I know that the triple single is an option there, but see how low I'm staying right there, and then I'm catching the top of that, bringing all my momentum down. I know I very poorly explained some of this stuff. I had the video lined up in a way better format and way, but I just couldn't find a way to like make it translate to what I was doing and what I know I'd be capable of editing. It's really confusing, but hopefully you guys get the memo. Hopefully you guys get what I'm trying to say here. That'll be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed and learned something new, go ahead and leave a like down below. And if you enjoyed, once again, go ahead and leave me a little subscribe button press, please. It'd be great. And other than that, go check any of the past content on the channel. Guarantee you'd like it. And that'll be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. Deuces. All right.